Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Novocaine. Directed by Robertolsen and danberk, it's an action comedy thriller releasing on March 14th, 2025. I was lucky enough to see this early at an AMC secret screener this week. It's a fun movie starring Jack Quaid as Nathan Caine, a bank assistant manager with congenital insensitivity to pain, otherwise known as SIP. Nathan is an introvert and doesn't really believe in love until he meets Sherry, the girl of his dreams. When his bank is robbed and Sherry is taken as a hostage, he awkwardly goes balls to the walls to get her back. Quick heads up, this review might contain some spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Alright, you've been warned, so I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. Is this the most believable movie? Absolutely not. Do I care? Absolutely not. This is one of those movies where if you turn your brain slightly off, you're gonna have a lot of fun. This movie is a lot like Nobody, Crank, and The Nice Guys. There is a lot of high-octane action in this movie, but it's paired really well with dark humor. Nathan's condition is what makes this movie unique. Because he can't feel anything, it opens up the action for anything. He can reach into fryers, punch shards of glass into his hands, get shot by a crossbow, and even have a knife through his hand. His SIP is perfect for this movie because it gives him a completely unexpected advantage over the people he fights. I love that this movie takes something that would normally be seen as a weakness and turns it into an unlikely strength. Nathan is not a fighter, but because he can't feel any pain, in Sherry's words, he's like a superhero. His superpower is EpiPens and adrenaline. To summarize, I love the premise of this movie. Jack Quaid is the star of this movie. I'll be completely honest, Quaid's grown a lot on me over the last few years. I kind of went back and forth with him in The Boys, but he sold me with Scream, Companion, and now Novocaine. There's something in me that wants to be a Jack Quaid hater, but I just can't. He has a weird and unconventional charm to him. I don't know if it's his down-to-earth persona, introvert shy guy acting, or his goofy goober looks, but I am a fan. Given the plot of this movie and his character, Jack Quaid is the perfect actor for this role. I hate to typecast, but he's really nailed the bumbling idiot nice guy archetype. A lot of his bumbling works to his advantage in this movie and keeps him alive. Despite that awkwardness though, he still has a weirdly charming romance with Ambermidthunder's Sherry. To be fair, Amber drives a lot of that chemistry for me. She rizzed me up with this role. Well, at least during the first half of this movie. I was hardcore rooting for both characters. In my head, I was like, Nathan, brother, I totally get it. I too would go on a crazy mission to save a baddie. Unfortunately, at some point, the honeymoon phase ended for me and it never came back. Even as the film ended, I couldn't feel that initial spark of romance anymore. Filling that romantic void in my heart was Jacob Batalon's Roscoe. I didn't write his character's name down, so I am trusting that Wikipedia's casting is not doing me dirty. Jacob is largely not present in this movie, but I still appreciated when he was. There's something about him that gives great sidekick energy. I don't know if it's because I'm used to seeing him as Ned with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but Jacob is great at elevating the actors around him. He has good chemistry and humor with other characters and can put a smile on my face. The other characters in this movie are pretty cliche. The trio of bank robbers are your standard low crime thugs, with the ringleader being an over-the-top caricature. There are two detectives in this movie trying to solve the bank robbery and bring Nathan in, but I didn't really care for their characters. They were kind of a distraction and didn't really add anything to this movie. Honestly, their inclusion feels forced, and that's unfortunate. If you saw last year's Carry On, my complaint about Elena Cole is very similar. This movie had a runtime of an hour and 50 minutes. I think this movie could have shaved off about 10 minutes. Some of Nathan's side questing could have been a little sharper and the detective plot could have been cut. More importantly though, I think the climax of this movie could have been tweaked. There was a point where I got faked out on the climax, and even if it wasn't the best ending, I was okay with the movie wrapping up. However, the movie didn't wrap up because the real climax was yet to come. By no means is that a bad thing, it's just I was mentally ready for the movie to end, and when it didn't end, I was like, oh, I guess it's still going. Some people might like that. I'm a little more indifferent because I don't like my movies lingering longer than they should. Anyways, moving on, I'm gonna touch a little on the combat again. I like the visuals, cinematography, and production design. Each set location was unique and helped make the movie not feel monotonous. The action was good too. I love the framing and camera angles, and I'm happy to say that this movie didn't suffer from a choppy camera. The combat is choreographed well and easy to follow. The last thing I'll say is that the soundtrack is fun. It has a good tempo and helps the narrative move along quickly. It's an eclectic mix of genres, but it wonderfully fits the action, romance, and comedy. Novocaine is an action comedy that embraces its absurdity, and I had a great time with it. It's not trying to be realistic or groundbreaking, it just wants to entertain, and it absolutely succeeds. Jack Quaid carries the film with his offbeat charm, and his chemistry with Ambermidthunder is strong, even if it fizzled out for me by the end of the film. The action is well shot, the humor mostly lands, and the film leans into its unique premise in a way that keeps things fresh. Sure, there are some unnecessary side plots and a slightly extended runtime, but the movie's energy and creativity make up for it. If you're a fan of movies like Nobody, Crank, or The Nice Guys, I definitely recommend checking this one out. It's not perfect, but it's a fun ride, and sometimes that's all you need. Thank you for listening to my review of Novocaine. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.